right. So quick background on Drone Brothers. Just I know a lot of you have been flying first for quite some time. We've been working together for quite some time. I wanted to give everyone kind of a quick background in case you didn't know who we are. We are a nationwide pilot network. We're a drone service provider. We've been doing this. We're just starting our 9th year in business, and we've been very fortunate. We've been able to grow a nationwide network of pilots like yourself in pretty much every major market across the country. We've got between the board members and the people that work for the company and leadership, we got 50 years of entrepreneurial leadership and mentoring experience amongst all of us. And that's what we ultimately love to do, is to mentor and to kind of promote the whole entrepreneur spirit in the drone space. As I mentioned, been doing this for 9 years. And a little side note, I know most companies carry $1 million of liability for insurance. We carry a $2 million policy for all the jobs that we do. We have done a little bit of everything over the years. So in 9 years, as you can imagine, this started off as a residential real estate. As most of you know, that's usually the low-hanging fruit in this space. And we started off doing residential real estate. And along the way, we've done a little bit of everything. But about year number 4, maybe year number 5, we got our first taste of the construction world. And I said to my kids who actually started this company, look, we got to figure out how to not be a shotgun approach, because if we are a shotgun in this space, you're going to lose your mind, because there are so many opportunities in the drone space to do business that if we don't get this thing narrowed down and focused, we're going to really lose our minds, because there's a lot of opportunities. So we said we made the conscious decision, we're going to scale this thing back to only focusing on the construction industry. And what's great about the construction industry is that it allows for a recurring revenue stream. So rather than shooting one house and you're done, or one commercial property and you're done, most of our jobs, as again, for those of you who are flying with us know, they're anywhere from 6 to 12 to 18 month period of time, and it's recurring revenue. I remember early on, we were really lucky to get monthly drone flights from our clients. Then it turned into, oh wow, we got some people that are having us doing twice a month. And now the really good jobs for us are, we've got some job sites we're flying once a week. So we're doing 4 times a month. And I think it can only get better from there as these construction people realize the importance of the drone. So that's a little background on who we are and where we're at today. And kind of what is the affiliate program? So we see a need to be able to kind of allow our pilots to leverage our nationwide footprint, to leverage this network that we've built already, to leverage the support team we've got in place, our drone deploy license. We've got a team of video editors on staff, and most importantly, to kind of leverage the relationships we've got with these large general contractors, because ultimately what we hope is that we can all make a lot of money in this space. I have known since day one of my business philosophies since day one has been, this is going to be a really exciting industry. The more heads are better than 1, 3 heads are better than 2, and the more people that we can bring under the umbrella and help to make a living at this thing, the better. I'm not big into competition or worry about am I competing with somebody else. I can only get up every morning and do the best that I can do. And again, I know because of what we've done over the last 9 years, there are opportunities for all of us to make a really nice living in this space if we all work together. So that's the idea behind this affiliate program, is to figure out how we can all work together, how we can leverage the relationships we've got in this nationwide network so that you guys can put more leads into the system and make yourself money along the way. So again, briefly, and I got another presentation, which maybe I'll flip to in a second, but early on in the construction space, we were, again, really lucky if a general contractor called and said, okay, we need photos done of the site. And again, for those of you that know this space, what happened early on, it's still happening today, we'll get a call from a general contractor, hey, we need drone services. Well, what kind of drone service do you need? Well, we just need photos. We need photos from the north, south, east, and west, because our client's asking for photos to be captured. And as you all know, there's a lot more to this than just taking photos from 4 corners of the job site. And we now have 20 services that we've kind of identified from the start of a project until the end of the project, where we can get paid for flying something along the way for the job site. So it's not just about getting these progress photos, progress videos, the mapping, and that stuff monthly or twice a month or whatever it is. There's things like a milestone moment. So if they're putting a dome on the top of the building, or they're raising the walls, or they're doing a cement pour that day, or they're lifting by helicopter an HVAC system, there are things like that that we can get called in to help out as well. There's doing the interior capture. So whether it's with a drone or a 360 camera, there's doing things like interior captures once the roof goes up. We have a marketing team that is kind of second to none, a video editing team. We're putting together these, what we call day in the life videos, where we get hired by the general contractors to come out and film their people out on the job site to help become their in-house marketing department, to tell stories, help them tell stories about who they are and what they can deliver to a general contractor. The other big thing, and I got Greg on the call with us here knows all about these things, but doing system training videos at the very end of a project. Every single project's got to have a system training video done, where before they hand the keys over to the owner, someone's got to explain how the HVAC system works, the alarm system works, all the basic systems, and give a video back to the client so they can put that in the cloud. And they may never use it, but they need to have that there as well. And then we're getting into doing these end of project tours. So taking, on the call with us today is Brandon, who just came on board as our lead FPV pilot. So we're doing these really cool fly-throughs of a finished building at the end of the project, so we can, again, deliver to our client a really cool video they can use for marketing, for new business development, to give as a gift to their client, to show off this beautiful building, to use on social media. So these are just 5 examples of 20 other things that we can be doing along the way through the life cycle of a construction project. So we've stopped thinking about when a client calls and says, hey, we need to hire you, we need you to out twice a month for the next 12 months. Well, that's 24 shoots. And if you can add on a handful of these other ones, it can turn into 30 shoots, 35 shoots, 40 shoots. And what started off as X amount of dollars could be X times 2 at the end of the project, which again is more money for us, means more money for you guys and more times that you're out flying the site. All right, so give me kind of examples of kind of how this revenue thing can work for you pilots. So the best example I can give you is we got called about, gosh, it's probably about a month and a half ago. From we're in Michigan, so on the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, we got a call from a company that does docks. They install docks at marinas, and they called us because they found us on Google in Detroit. We kind of own the Detroit market for Google searches, and they were looking for a drone company in the Detroit area. They called. I introduced myself to them. What do you need help with? Well, we need you to film our docks at the Grosse Pointe Marina. I said, fantastic. Gave them a quote. I said, by the way, we do this stuff nationwide. We do this work all over the country. And I literally heard a sigh and a pause. And the guy said, wow, that's just fantastic. You don't know how much time you've just saved me, because now I got a job in Toledo. I got a job in Petoskey, Michigan. I got a job in Chicago. And I got a job in Cleveland, Ohio that I need done. And it was like I took a 50-pound backpack off this guy's back, because he now knew that this work would get done with one phone call. So if nothing else comes out of this conversation today, what I hope to happen with our pilot network is that you guys, as our pilots and as affiliates of this program, would start learning to say to people that call into you to do work in your area, they find you in the Yellow Pages or find you on Google or wherever, however they find you, that your first thing to them would be, hey, by the way, I do this work nationwide. I'm part of a nationwide network, and I can make this happen for you all over the place. Because what I've heard from pilots over the last 9 years is, well, yeah, I'm in Madison, Wisconsin, or I'm in Tallahassee, Florida, and yeah, I'll drive an hour and a half away from my house to go do this work. But if I got to start driving 2 hours or 3 hours or get on an airplane, it's just not cost effective for me and for my client. But again, the idea behind the affiliate network is you guys can say, yes, I can handle that job anywhere in the country. And the same thing with a construction job. If you're in a market and a project manager does a Google search because they're coming to your market to build an Amazon warehouse or whatever they happen to be building, they find you, you do great work for them. At the end of that project, you should be able to say to them, hey, project manager, or hey, superintendent, where are you going next? Oh, you're going to Tampa, Florida? Fantastic. Did you know I offer these same services in Tampa, Florida? And again, simple process. You'd be able to feed that lead back into our system, and we would handle that, and you would get paid. I'll get into that in a second, to keep this going, so you're able to make more revenue on those kinds of jobs. All right. Again, we've got kind of an acronym for the name of this program, and it's the EASY program: Empower, Simplify, Educate, and Earnings. So the empowerment part is we want to, again, you need to become part of this nationwide network you can tap into. And the other idea behind this, which I could get into today, but the big picture of this is, how do we use this network? How do we use Tony's Hangar Talks to all share best practices and best ideas as well? Because there's something that you're doing in your market that is working, and you're not going to be competitive with someone else in a market 300 miles away. How do we take best ideas and best practices and as a group share these and empower each other to help improve our businesses? Again, you become an exclusive pilot for us for a predetermined area around your marketplace. We'll help. We got a social media team that will help build out the local Google My Business pages in your market as well. And again, we don't want to step on your toes. If you guys have a website and you're doing this full time or whatever, and you want to keep doing your work, have at it. Keep doing your stuff. Keep maintaining your website. But if you want to come into the affiliate program and help get more construction work, we want to be here to help with that. All right. Again, the other benefit is kind of simplification. How do we simplify this whole process for everybody? As you all know, again, some of you are at different levels of your entrepreneurship with starting a business. Some of you have full-time jobs, and this drone thing is a side hustle. Some of you are doing the drone thing as a full-time gig, and that's great. But there's a lot of hats to be wearing in this space. So if we can take a few of those hats off your head and help that you can just be able to go out and sell and fly, and let us handle the whole onboarding process, the answering the phone calls, invoicing the customers, producing the video footage, cleaning up the photos, storing the files. That's what we're here to help do as well. The other thing we're going to start, and this probably will start in another 30 to 45 days, is an educational portal as well. So again, to learn, to be able to tap into resources that we've put together for online as far as best practices, training aids, a library of educational tools that we can, again, how do we share this stuff with each other to make us all better pilots and better entrepreneurs? And ultimately, how do we allow you to make more money and all of us to make more money? So the basics of this, to keep this really simple, is if there's a project in your market, you're going to be the pilot. You're make the money that you make for flying a job if you've got a local job in your market. If you want to put that lead into our system, and we'll handle everything else for you, we will pay a commission up front on the sale, a 20% commission, and then ongoing for as long as that project is happening and as many flights as we're doing for that project, we'll pay an additional commission on top of that. So again, this is trying to keep this as simple as possible and make the earnings as easy as possible for you as well. So here's an example. Again, we try to be really conservative and really, I don't want to blow smoke and promise the world on stuff. We want to make this as realistic as possible. But on average, we have a construction job typically lasts for 12 to 18 months. typically we fly a job twice a month. So in 12 months to 18 months, we're flying 24 to 36 times. And again, depending on which service they sign up for with us, I picked an average number. Some are less than this, some are more than this, but we get $600 per flight and for doing the drone deploy work for these clients. So a referring pilot would receive $120 on the initial order that was placed in the system, and then we get $60 a month each time, $60 per flight, so $120 a month. So over an 18-month period of time, there's $2,220 on the table for simply saying to a project manager, hey, let me follow you to Tampa or let me follow you to Albuquerque and get paid for that. And again, if you start putting more than one lead a month into the system, the money could just generate, do that 12 times a year, once a month, and the money could generate into a lot of money per year in extra income. And again, if the market's in your home market, you're the pilot, you want to fly it, have at it. You get paid for the flying, your flying time as well. On a single project, we get called in for one-off project. We might get called in for, hey, we need you to do a, I don't know, who knows what it could be. It could be filming a car dealership. It could be come in and do a tour of the thing, or it could be a systems training series of videos that need done. So if it's a one-off project, this is again a simple revenue stream of what you can get paid for doing a one-off, putting a one-off project into the system. So again, one-time flight, which could be $1,000 or it could be a $3,000 project. Again, there's a nice revenue stream for that as well. Again, we want to kind of take this thing from cradle to grave. So from site selection, when the client first calls and says, hey, we need to go help get some pictures taken for a site our client's looking to build on, to the final landscape photos, to everything in between, we want to be able to handle that entire project for the client. And again, anything that gets added to the project as it goes on, you get paid for. We would never cut our pilots out. This is a job that you put into the system, and you're gonna get paid for that project for everything that comes in. So if, for example, you refer a job into us in Dallas, Texas, and it starts off as being just some progress photos and videos, and the client decides to add on mapping, they decide to add on some milestone captures, they decide to add on a day in the life video, they decide to add on an end of the video tour, you're going to get paid on that as well. Because again, we feel you found that client, you started that relationship, and you should be rewarded for that as well. Again, I've learned along the way, there are pilots at different levels. There are some pilots that love to chat, love to talk, love to sell, love to go out. And there's other pilots that just say, you know what, I just leave me alone. I'm gonna show up, I'm gonna launch my drone. I might knock on the trailer door and tell the superintendent I'm there, but they just want to just fly the drone and not do much else. We want this to be available to anyone in between that. So for example, if you want to just if you want to, in your market, if you drive by and you're traveling, you see a sign for a construction site going up, and you see a trailer there, and you're not really comfortable calling and making a sales call, knock on the trailer door, ask for the superintendent's business card, snap a picture of the business card, send it to us. We will put someone on our team to call. We'll put you in the system that lead came in. We will call the superintendent. We'll introduce all the different programs to them, sell them on the idea, and you'll get paid for that lead. If you want to be more involved, go out and grab some spec shots of that project before it goes up. Grab a couple panos, grab a video or two. Send that footage to us. We'll make it into a video as a spec job. We'll send it back to you. You'll walk in with your iPad and show it to the superintendent and explain to them why they should be using drones for this job site. And then we'll continue our relationship on building that out. If you want to turn this into a full-time gig that you're knocking on doors and making calls, we're actually opening up markets right now, because we have people ask us about, hey, can I represent you in Dallas, Texas, and do this on a full-time basis? We're open to that as well. Again, we want to make this easy for everyone to get involved with. We want to have, there's got to be some skin in the game. So as a founding member, if you commit to doing this before the end of October, we're going to ask everyone to put in $95 to get started. And you've got my word on this. I don't want your $95 to do anything more than to put back in the system to try to drive more traffic for all of us. So my long-term goal is if we can get this thing to the point where we have a couple thousand pilots all across the country that are involved and benefiting from this program, and we're all putting skin in the game every year, I'm going to give that money to our social media team. I'm going to have them buy ads on Google and Facebook and drive more traffic back to the network, because we benefit and ultimately our pilots benefit by more business that comes in. And again, after that's for the first year. I don't know where things are going to be. You guys are all in the entrepreneurial world. I have no idea what's going to happen a year from now or 2 years from now. But our hope is that we can get this thing to a fair rate. Maybe it's be $200 a year, maybe it's be $300 a year. There might be different levels of our affiliate membership we might come up with next year or the year after. But again, we want to keep this simple, low barriers to entry, make this easy for everyone to be involved. And I'm going to now open the floor up to comments, to questions, to suggestions, to whatever you guys would like to talk about. I can go a little deeper into this as well. So I will open the floor up to everyone on the call now.
Everyone's speechless. It's too good.
They are speechless. They can't even, Milo can't even control himself. Milo, give me your thoughts. I'm going to pick on some people here. I want, you're honest. You can't hurt my feelings. Milo, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's a lot of information to take in. I like the vision a lot. I like the interconnectedness that we could have with this program. And I think like you reiterated, there are, I'm in the Northern Illinois area, just a little bit west of Chicago, and we have construction projects going up all the time. And I really don't have a way of approaching, that I know of. It's not like I know people with these companies. And so that as far as the situation where you talked about how if you're not comfortable, going and knocking on the trailer, I wouldn't even have known that was a thing to do. Honestly, I'm not a salesperson and I'm not shying away from it. I just don't know yet, how to do that. Wasn't my background or my background, but but everything else seems good. I'm still kind of trying to soak it in and figure it out.
Okay. And let me speak to that. Because this is what we've heard this a lot from our pilots. It's like everyone's got their own comfort level as far as what they want to do as an entrepreneur. And for someone like you, that's great. If you're driving by you see a sign go up on a site that says coming soon Marriott hotels or coming soon some apartment complex. If you want to do nothing more than take your drone out of the back seat and go around and do a panorama, get some video footage and send it to us with a picture of the sign on the front of the property that says brought to you by XYZ Construction Company, we'll make a phone call to XYZ Construction Company and say, hey, we see you got a project in Madison, Wisconsin going up, or Rockford, Illinois. We want to introduce ourselves to them. By the way, our pilot took a couple of images for you. Check this out. Would this be helpful to you? And that's how we built the business. We built this business by doing spec work and teasing these guys with a video too. Because again, most superintendent, if I were to put a room together on a Zoom call of 100 superintendents and ask them what do drones do, they're going to tell you they take pretty pictures for my Friday meetings. That's all the superintendent knows of what a drone does. I scratch my head after 9 years of doing this and say, I can't believe we haven't gotten further than that, because they do so much more. And the superintendents that get it that know they can do stockpile volumetrics, that know they can do earthwork cut fill analysis, that know they can do marketing video. They know this stuff. They will never, ever start another job and not use drones once they know all the features that they have. So it just gets us in the door.
I want to add something too, because I don't know if everybody caught it, but so also Milo, if you go into one of these trailers, you know, construction sites that's getting ready to break ground or whatever, and it's, you know, Fred's Construction, okay? If you bring that to us, that lead to us, and we're not currently doing business with Fred's Construction, and we win that job, that's your account basically. So then when Fred's Construction builds something in Georgia, you still get a commission on that because you brought that company to us. So it's not just the one that's by your, you know, your local community or whatever. Anything we get from that company going forward, you will get a commission on.
Okay.
I can also say, I'll say something from experience, because I know a lot of people probably have never went and knocked on a trailer door before. I didn't, and the first one I knocked on, I met Drone Brothers, so it was pretty cool. Near me, there was a massive Amazon warehouse that was going up, and I drove past it just about, I don't know, once a week, and it just kept getting bigger and bigger. And a truck pulled in. I didn't even know I could pull into the warehouse. Like, never done anything construction in my life before, never been on a construction site. And a truck pulled in, so I pulled in behind it into the parking lot that was there, the dirt parking lot. And I was kind of just in shock that I was so close to this massive warehouse. And then I was like, what do I do? And so I posted on my story, like, how close I was to the warehouse. People were like, oh, you're going to fly the warehouse? I was like, no, I don't think so. I'm just kind of here. And then somebody commented and said, go talk to the project manager. I was like, okay, I guess that shouldn't be too hard. So I grabbed all my drone gear, and I'm an FPV pilot, so I have loads of gear, like multiple backpacks, suitcases full of stuff. And I just walked in carrying as much gear as I could to look like a professional. And there was a couple workers that were there, and they asked me, oh, the drone guy's back again. I said, actually, do you know where the project manager is? And they drug me to the project manager, and I just kind of dropped all the gear on the ground and asked if they had a drone company that they used. And they said Drone Brothers, and then they gave me Andy's contact information. I called them. It wasn't very scary. It was more of kind of something that I just was hilarious to me at the time. But now that I know I can keep doing it and making money off of that, I think it's going to be amazing to be able to just stop by. I'm in an area where there's just construction all the time. There's so many warehouses going up near me. It just seemed, I don't know, it just all of a sudden they all started popping up. And so I'm probably going to go around for a day and just take a couple pictures, panos, videos of every single one of them and send them over to Drone Brothers. And I think this is going to be pretty cool.
That sounds awesome.
Okay. Mike, you had some questions via the chat. Mike, do we answer some of your questions? You have some questions that you want to ask?
No, I was just curious about what was the percentage on the recurring, and oddly enough, the next slide actually had those 2 percentages on it, so it's kind of cool. Thank you.
Yep. Yeah. So yeah, again, we want to keep it simple. So 10% on the recurring revenue.
Very cool.
And there's another question in the chat from James Newt.
James, did you have a question you want to talk about?
Yeah, I was asking a question about, you mentioned something about access to drone deploy at a reduced rate. What would that rate be?
Well, it's not at a reduced rate. We have a nationwide enterprise license with Drone Deploy. So we are allowed to onboard as many pilots as we need to onboard to our system. So it's not that we don't want to become resellers. I don't think we can even become resellers of that, but you would have access to this. You can go into a site and say, hey, and we do Drone Deploy work. A lot of these constructors know about Drone Deploy, and you can just, again, leverage that relationship that we have an enterprise license with Drone Deploy. We can provide panels, we can provide mapping, we can provide cut fill analysis, we can provide volumetric services for you. You have access as a member of our network and as being one of our pilots to be able to offer that to any general contractor across the country. Again, that's But that's a huge hurdle, as you all know, because I, again, talked to hundreds of pilots, and the biggest hurdle, we went through it, guys. We went through it. I remember 9 years ago, so with my kids, it's like, oh, we got to sign up for Drone Deploy. We have to try this. It's $99 a month. Where are we gonna come up with $99 a month for this thing? And it was a huge struggle. And it was like, how are we gonna commit $1,200 a year? We're just able to we're not even taking paychecks out of this company. How are we commit $1,200 a year to this? Then the next year it became, oh, they raised their rates to a $299 package because we needed some other features. Then it became a $699 package. I don't want to tell you what we pay now for it, but I look back and say, these are hurdles that every single entrepreneur, every pilot or customer runs into, is that when do I commit to Drone Deploy to lock in something? And it's got to be when you have 2 or 3 or 4 jobs that are, are guaranteed work, so you can spread that cost over those jobs so you can afford to do it. And I think they're missing out, Drone Deploy. I think they're fools for not offering another easier way to get started. But you guys can start under our license and offer these services, and we pay for the we're not doing it for free. We pay for the more data we use Drone Deploy, the more we got to pay every single year. Does that answer your question, James?
So is the individual pilot charge for the upload data? Let's say if I go out and I get, fly 50, 60 jobs or a quarter or whatever, and I'm doing massive uploads. How does that work?
So if you bring us a contract that you can use Drone Deploy for that,
Okay.
our copy of Drone Deploy, and then you won't be charged anything. We take the hit on that.
Okay.
Whether
The
you
contract-
fly
the
that,
con-
yeah. Sorry, go
The
ahead.
contract's coming through us. So James, if you got a job and you're in Miami, Florida, you got a job up in Madison, Wisconsin, you're going to submit that job because you met a project manager in Miami who loved your work and he wants you to do Drone Deploy because he's got 2 other jobs starting, and one's in Rockford, Illinois. This is how beautiful this is. What happens in the network is you put this lead into our system. We work with the construction company. We get a contract in place with them. We take care of everything. You get paid a commission for putting that into the system, again, where you never had a chance to do that before, because you're not going to fly from Miami to Rockford, Illinois twice a month to fly something. You're going to get paid a commission, upfront commission and a monthly commission. We're going to put it through our Drone Deploy license. And the other person that benefits from this is Milo, because Milo's going to get a call from our team saying, hey, Milo, another job in Rockford or an hour from Rockford, you want to take it? He's going to say, absolutely. He knows how we work. We know how he works. And we turn that on. So you in Florida make something. We make something. Milo makes something. According to Stephen Covey, that's called a win-win-win situation. And that's all what I'm about, is how do we make these large wins for all of us going forward.
Yeah, I'm just trying to be, Drone Deploy is a huge expense to me right now too. But so this is only for jobs that go into your system, right?
Yes.
So
Yep.
if I paid a $195 a year to join the affiliate program, and the only time I can use Drone Deploy is when I'm flying jobs that are in your system.
Exact jobs that we're handling. Correct.
Okay. All right.
Now, I mean, if you want to have a job if you're wherever market you're in, you want to do a job in your area and buy your own Drone Deploy license and build your own business and build your own brand, have at it, keep doing that. But again, the simple idea of this is, how do we allow pilots to say yes to work outside of their 90-mile radius around their home? That's how this whole thing started, is how do we make it easy for you to say yes? Because again, if you guys, from experience, if you start off every call that you get in from someone that calls you in and says, hey, can you help me with a job in my area? Yes, I can. Here's what's going to cost. And by the way, before I forget, we can do this anywhere in the country for you. You're going to get a lot of people saying, wow, oh, that's really helpful. That's great to know. It's the seeds planted in their brain to know that they just have to call you for the next job that they go to. Or they're going to say, oh, that's great to know. Hey, can you help me in Tallahassee, or can you help me in Dallas? Because one of my coworkers is actually starting a project down there, and I need help with that. And you can say, absolutely. And you put it in the system and you know that you're gonna get consistent results every time for that client.
At the beginning of the meeting, Andy, you said, well, it might have been in the middle. You were talking about maybe expanding it. So you're saying right now it's 90, was it 95 or $99? Maybe it might be more in the future, but there might be different ranks. Maybe one of those ranks, as he was saying, could be an unlimited drone deploy license. Maybe that could be one of the key points. Maybe it could be like the top tier one, where you already have your own company and it could just be an extra little thing that you could tick off the box, where it would just be an extra however much amount, and then now you can just use the Drone Brothers one.
Absolutely. Again, as long as we're getting covered for they're like Verizon plans. The more data we use, the more money we pay. And again, if I don't mind putting something in place like Brandon suggested, that you guys can be a pilot under our license, and we know we're getting paid X amount per gigabyte from drone deploy. We'll charge you that same amount, or we'll add a couple pennies on per gigabyte or something to cover our admin costs for all this stuff. But that's a great idea. That's the kind of stuff we will add on. Another thing I see adding on is, again, there are in preliminary talks with our pilots about this. There are some pilots that all they want to do is fly and knock on doors and just plant seeds. They don't want to deal with the billing. They don't want to deal with the photo cleanup. They don't want to deal with making videos. They don't want to deal with any of this stuff. There might be different levels of the service that we say, okay, hey, for X amount of dollars a month, you have access to our editing team, and we'll clean up your photos for you. We'll clean up your video, make a video for you. We'll do that. We'll do all your billing for you if you want. And those will be what I'm envisioning as kind of add-on fees to help make it easy. So all you have to do is make sure the batteries are charged and go out and fly the sites, and you don't have to worry about any other headaches and hats that you have to wear. That's how this thing's going to end up growing.
I have one last question. So on one of your slides, it indicated that you could keep your website, but no construction or something like that. Did I read that wrong, or?
No, the idea is we don't want to interfere with, if you guys have a website and you're doing roof inspections and you're doing residential and if you want to keep that and you're doing local construction stuff, keep that and we're not looking to take that opportunity away from you. If on the other hand, you say, you know what, I haven't updated their website for 6 years. It's all outdated. There aren't any testimonial. There's nothing on there. Will you guys build a Google My Business page for me in my area and take care of all that for me? And I'll just be your representative. I'll be your pilot. I'll be your affiliate for Rockford, Illinois, or Tampa, Florida. We'll help build out that Google My Business page for you, which will turn into a affiliate web page. And again, we're behind it, but all the business is coming to you. So I guess if someone were to find that page and want to do a house shoot or a commercial real estate shoot, we've got to decide if we want to be involved in that. And I don't know that we do yet. I don't know that I want to handle commercial real estate leads and residential leads, because that kind of stuff is, for those that have done it, it's not as easy as doing construction. There's a lot more moving parts, and they're pain in the butt a lot of times. So that's to be determined.
Quick question, sorry,
Greg?
Mike here. So sorry. So for the Google My Business page, is that Google My Own personal business page, or is it Google My Drone Brothers in your area business page? So let's say it's a Mike Byrne Drone World. So is part of that money going, or part of that support to that Google My Business page, or would it be a Drone Brothers, a local Drone Brothers Google My Business page?
The way we're thinking about it, it's going to be a local. We're going to build it. We're going to feed it. It's going to cost money to put these things up and make them right. We're going to be the ones that will be behind that, and you will be the pilot and the affiliate for that area, for that page. It will not be, I don't envision this being a Mike's Drone Services page that we're going to build out.
Gotcha. Cool. I mean, no, thanks. And it makes sense. Like, I understand it too. So like, if I want to pursue my own, my own drone services business, I can keep doing that under my own brand, but still contributing to the affiliate program with you guys, because I see them then as mutually exclusive.
Mhm.
Am I looking at it the right way, Tony?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
And
That's cool.
we've been talking about getting, for people who do join the affiliate program, Drone Brothers business cards, so that when you do go into a construction trailer, you can introduce yourself as a pilot on behalf of Drone Brothers, who is a nationwide company who has all these services available, rather than just John Smith, the local guy with a drone.
Totally. Well, the way I see it is I would just I would bifurcate my business. So I'm saying every action that I was going towards construction, I'd play it through the affiliate program, and everything else I would just go about my business the regular way. So I totally see it. I mean, it's just an easy division. It makes sense. I get it.
I wanted to ask Greg, on your question there about the to flying the drone deploy. Do you mean on new projects? I usually do all the programming for drone deploy. Is that what you were asking? When we get a construction progress, yeah, I set up, depending on what the customer wants, the photo tours, or video tours, or mapping and panoramas, or whatever, whatever package they. So that's already all programmed, and then you'll get a drone deploy account, or a login, I should say, and you'll be assigned, when you log in, you'll see that project.
So walk me through.
I can't hear you, sorry.
Can you hear me?
Just
Barely, yeah, barely. It's really kind of a mute sound. It's like way off in the distance.
All right, how's that?
Yeah, there
A
you
little
go.
better.
Okay, so walk me through this then. If I walk into a project manager's trailer and introduce myself, and that we're with Drone Deploy, once I make that contact, refer that to Andy, then the next time I hear it, if everything goes well on the back end, would be a shoot request with Drone Deploy, and then I would go out, load it, and I've done it before with you guys in Florida. I just press the button and it flies automatically, right?
Yeah, if that's the level, or the level of involvement that you have or you want, you would introduce yourself, say you're part of Drone Brothers, get the information, the contact info, pass it on to Andy or myself. We'll make the calls. And if we get the contract, then that's yours, and you get a commission on that. And then if you wish to be the one who flies it, which I would imagine you would, you get first dibs on flying it. And then, but even if someone else decided let's say you didn't want to fly it, and someone else did, you'd still get that 10% for each time they flew it, because you brought us the company, you brought us that contact.
I want to respect everyone's time. It's 9 o'clock here in Michigan. I'll stay on as long as everyone else needs. But again, I want to just introduce this, get some feedback from everybody, get some, again, initial ideas, and we can continue this conversation. Or if we're building this thing out. So again, we've got, right now we got about 75 to 85 pilots across the country that fly for us on a regular basis. I'm already looking past that, because if this works the way I think it's going to work, this opens the door to any pilot in the country. You don't have to be on the Drone Brothers flying for us to be able to be part of this system, because every pilot's having the same challenge. And again, I to the life of me cannot figure out the droners.io business model of a race to the bottom of it's a one-way thing that pilots wait for a job to come in. They bid on something. Oh, it's $85. Oh, no, I'm getting paid $75. No, I'm getting paid $65. Oh, no, I'm getting $50, and I'm bidding with 10 other people. That's not the way you build a long-term business model. I want to figure out how this becomes a two-way thing, so we all can benefit from this. Even the big construction companies, they don't typically have their own drone department, number one. And if they do, they got to worry about getting a guy on a plane or a car or driving across the state of the country. And the second thing is, most general contractors don't have much of a marketing department. They gotta rely on Susie because she owns a Mac and she knows how to do Apple Photos and clean up photos. And she knows how to do iMovie to make videos. So most general contractors still need help in the video production end of things. And again, that's where there's an opportunity there for all of us.
What I've found is a lot of construction people, it's more of like the project manager has a drone and he comes out, or not the project manager, kind of the, I don't know what it's called. I don't know what the name's called, but it's just kind of the person that oversees the whole project. Not the project manager, because he's the one that actually does all the work mostly. He kind of tells people what to do. But there's a guy that kind of just oversees the whole project. I guess more the owner of the project. He like has a drone and he kind of just goes out and takes a couple pictures once a month or every couple months. Also, another thing, I wonder if Andy, if Joe should make a very short version of the website in a PowerPoint style format, or maybe just a couple pictures that you can swipe through on an iPad. So if the project manager asks for services, because I started making some notes on because I don't know anything about the stockpiling. I don't know anything about the time lapse mapping. I've never seen any of that. So I think it might be a really good thing to have maybe 2 or 3 pictures or slides where when they say, oh, well, what can you guys do? You just say, hey, check this out. And it's just, or maybe it's a 1-minute video that they can watch of it, just explaining of just the simple things that you guys do, instead of, because they already know that we do pictures, videos, and marketing. That's kind of, I guess marketing, they might not know as much. Release the pictures and videos, they know we do that. That's just something that they always know. We need to kind of get the hype up and show them of something being measured, or a time lapse of a whole project, like just something that they haven't really probably seen much that they would definitely want.
We're actually working on that right now.
Yeah,
Okay.
One for pilots and for project superintendents or whoever. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So again, you guys would have access to this as well, because again, who's got time to make up a deck and who's got time to make up a promotional video? We've got the team, and we've already, this is being made. I don't know if you guys can see my screen again. We've got a 25-page PowerPoint deck that we put together documenting all the different uses on the job site. We're going to turn this into a website like Brandon just described. When people go to a website and click through this, we're going to put this into a video. And again, we want to be able, you guys, to load this on your iPad and be able to walk into it and make a really smart presentation, be able to show someone, hey, here are all the ways you could be using drones around your job site. Because I've done enough of these things, and I did a presentation last week in front of 5 people for the largest earth moving company in the state of Michigan, and jaws literally dropped around the table as I went through these slides. They would stop me. Oh, I never thought about that. Or, oh, there'd be side conversations going on between 2 people. We should really be doing that on project X, Y, and Z. Or, oh, that would be a great thing for us to do next year on X, Y, Z project, or whatever it is. So just empowering you guys with the tools to be able to explain all the different services that are available for these clients. So we have these decks built that can be made into videos, and you guys will have access to this stuff too, to again empower you to be able to sell these services better.